Trash Taste is one, if not the biggest and well-known podcasts about anime, or at least it was meant to be. It ended up being broader than that. About YouTube, Japan, culture differences, games, food, movies, trends and dreams. Everybody can find something funny, interesting and relatable in this podcast. If you are a weeb, a nerd, a gamer, or just love to make fun of Americans and Brits, nothing personal, you'll love this podcast. Despite the podcast being launched by a trio of YouTubers and continuing to thrive on both YouTube and Spotify, the guys made a bold move to set up a European tour with a live show. What kind of show? Who knows? I'm about to find out. I was lucky enough to acquire a ticket to a Trash Taste show in Copenhagen, which will happen on the 2nd of September. I still can't believe that the boys are coming, and I will be able to see and hear them. For me, it's still a bizarre concept that YouTubers can organize a real-life event, because, you know, we're YouTubers. Creating YouTube videos, it's not the same as performing on a scene. Even streaming is not the same. Still, I do have some expectations, since I was watching Trash Taste for quite some time. If the show will be the same as the podcast, or at least similar, I bet it will be in a way, because I believe that the boys are not pretending or faking their personalities, then I may speculate about the things I'll see in the show. To add an extra layer of enjoyment, I turned my expectations into a bingo game. So, I guess that Garant, Joy and Connor will trash America, Americans or their food. Fight about what kind of chicken is superior, boneless or bone-in. Obviously it's the second one, we all know that, right? Right? Joy is being accused of not watching anime. Garant against bread. That would be a great movie. Joy in a costume. So I come across pictures from the US shows on Twitter and it seemed like they were boys in costumes. So I randomly chose Joy. He gives silly costume vibes. Garant defending the isekai. Garant mentioning him being a monk. Connor hates oranges.
You know I work for the BBC.
After the show, I will come back to his bingo. If I mark out an entire row or column, any one of it, I'll down a can of beer for every expectation I mark. I promise. Even though I hate beer. There are still 2 days left until the show, but I'm already nervous. I really hope that the Danish audience won't be watching in a complete silence and with straight faces. Because I know that Danish people are not the most expressive, loud or crazy when it comes to watching performances or stand-ups. I just don't want it to feel awkward. And I want to be sure that Connor, Garant and Joy don't feel unwelcomed. I am going to the show. Unfortunately, I won't be able to record anything. It's not allowed to make photos or videos during the show. What a shame. I understand, but I wish I could show you something. Or at least I could give it another watch whenever I want to dive back into nostalgia, or when I need a dose of motivation, a shot of energy and confidence, or simply to lift my spirits. I'm waiting for the show to start. We'll be performing on this stage. It's so hyped. I saw the boys. We had so much fun. And there were a lot of people. I didn't know that there are so many Trash Taste fans in Denmark. You can't imagine how excited I was. To be honest, the level of anticipation even surprised me, because I don't remember being so excited and impatient when going to the concerts of the bands I love. Now when I think about it, I understand why I felt this way. When I go to a concert, I always know what to expect. I may not know what songs the band will perform, but I've heard them all to be able to sing along. I go with purpose, and I get what I come for. But with a Trash Taste show, I had no clue what I'll see. Even though I had some expectations, it was mostly a shot in the dark. This event was intriguing, very hilarious, and exactly like from the podcast. I enjoyed listening to our voices, and I couldn't help but laugh from silly, wacky and cringe takes. It's been a while since I had such a deeply satisfying laugh. Now, let's compare expectations with the reality, shall we? Did we trash America, Americans or their food? Obviously, the whole audience did. Did they fight about chicken? Well, it wasn't a fight per se, but Grant did brought this topic up, so I'll mark this one too. That was hugely disappointing. The Danish audience mostly preferred boneless chicken. It's crazy how many people don't understand that the meat around the bone is the softest and sweetest. Joy is being accused of not watching anime. Well, we didn't talk about anime that much, only in the third part of the show, but nobody laughed at Joy on this regard. Garant against bread. Check. There was a separate section in the show where we played the game. Boys had to pull out a random take and defend it for 60 seconds. Connor pulled out a gun's take stating that all bread tastes the same and had to defend it. And later Gunn himself had to defend his own take. But audience didn't allow him. They booed him away, rightfully so. Joy in a costume. Actually, it was Connor who wore a clown's costume at the end of the performance, obviously for defending a take, but all Brit is the same. Garant defending the isekai. There was one occurrence when Garant was defending Sword Art Online, which we can see it's in isekai, so I'll mark this one too. By the way, before the show there were QR codes on the walls which we could scan to complete a questionnaire with some quite surprising questions. For example, one of the questions was which anime fanbase is the worst. I answered Dragon Ball because really they are the worst. Garant mentioning him being among Miss Connor, the hater of oranges. Yes, he was taking oranges. Again, let's fight for oranges' rights. We deserve better. Like, how could we even live without the oranges? I worked at BBC. Oh no, Grant didn't mention this. Now, how will I know what he worked at BBC? I didn't win, otherwise I would have to drink a beer, which in my humble opinion ranks pretty high on the mundane and predictably bitter scale. But you're free to prove me wrong by suggesting beer brands which you think somebody should definitely try at least once in their lifetime. By the way, I bought some merch too. Just look at this t-shirt. To be honest, this illustration doesn't remind me of a trash taste. I would expect to see images like this from some kind of a synthwave band, but maybe that's the point. I can wear it in a city or at my work and everybody will think that I was at a concert. Well, they definitely will be surprised if I try to Google. I bought a hoodie too. So comfy and with simplistic design. I love it so much. And here's a poster with Connor, Gant's and Joy's signatures. To be honest, I don't know which one belongs to whom. But I would guess that top left belongs to Joy, bottom left belongs to Gant, and bottom right belongs to Connor. It looks like Joy to me. I waited more than 1 hour to buy match, but I was ready to wait even longer because trash this game so much. During the toughest times, when I was hating my work and life, hating every morning I had to wake up, hating every minute when I had to spend in the office, under constant pressure or fear that I might be fired for a little mistake, or for not agreeing with the employer, or for getting sick one day, for just being myself, for just being alive. I was listening to their podcast. They gave me hope. They showed me that it's possible to have work which you would actually love, the one which won't be perceived as boredom, slavery and misery, which will follow you for 30 or even 40 more years. They proved that it's possible to make money from your hobbies, to make it a lifestyle if you work really hard, and won't allow your fears and insecurities to hold you back. I have so many of them. Too many. Trash Taste encouraged me to embrace my inner passions and motivated me to pursue my dream. I'm still on my way towards it. It will be a long way, but the hope alone makes me relieved and helps me to remain optimistic and purposeful. They don't even know what they saved me.